Sup nerds, today we have Black War versus Leopardmon. Kelly won the die roll, so he's going first, hatches, and evos into an Agoromon. Then plays Salamon for 3, gets a Scourge on, adds an Agoromon. Now I hatch my Dorymon, evo into Tapermon, play Maki, get my Scourge on, get to add Hades Force as my only target, and I play Tie for 3. So he pushes out, plays Ruli, and draws a card from his Tama Inheritable. So he activates Leopardmon's effect to tuck a Simbar to warp effectively into the Leopardmon for its cost. That's pass turn. It's an interesting card. Alright, so I push out, and then I slam BlackWarGreymon for 8 to give him 5. I am bricked on champions, so I need to do something. I pushed out because I have another rookie in my hand, so I can draw an additional card on my next turn. Otherwise, I wouldn't have pushed. But he evos into Leopard, activates Leopards when Digivolving to play Mikamon, however you say it. And he also evoed into Agoromon in his raising area. Evos into Leopardmon for 1. So he suspends my BlackWarGreymon with Leopard Mode's effects. Gains a memory from his Inheritable. Swing over BlackWarGreymon, gains a memory from that. Taps Ruli to give him an additional 3k. Triggers his Inheritables. He gets to trash the top card of my security and then check 1 with the piercing that he got from the Mikamon. And he also did this in slightly wrong order. He should have unsuspended the Leopardmon by suspending Mikamon first. Then he does it again. So each attack he gets to suspend one of his Digimon to unsuspend his Leopard. So just all the damage. And he plays Vulcan Crusher. It doesn't have a target to bounce on my side of the field, but he gets to add the Leopard mode back to his hand, and it unsuspends all of his Digimon. And they all have blocker from the Leopardmon effect. So I hatch Midori, evo into Taper. Evo into Greymon for 1 memory, and then gain a memory from Tai. Then Evo into Greymon X. And I most likely lose on my next turn. But I Gaia Reactor. It lets the highest play cost on each one of our fields survive, and it deletes everything else, so it just pops his 2 small bodies. So he pushes out, triggers Leopardmon's main effect. Plays Agoromon for free. Evos into Leopard mode again. Suspends Greymon X. Gains memory back from his Inheritable. Swings with Leopardmon. Yeah, and it's just game. Alright, so we're going to game 2. Hopefully we don't brick on champions again. Leopard mode unopposed is pretty nasty though. It's popping off on me a little bit. Alright, so I choose to go second for game 2. I'm hoping that 6th card will ensure that I don't brick. So Caleb hatches Tanamon, evos into Agoromon. And then evos into Mikamon for 2, I guess. Hatches Dorymon. I evo into Toy Agu. And then play Tai for 3. Toy Agu is pretty nice because he actually interacts with all the BT13 Greymon support. Because he has Agumon in his name. So he pushes out, evos into Panjamon, and then plays a Tamer for free, plays Izzy. I promote Toy Agu, he gets 1000 DP and blocker until the end of my opponent's turn from Tai. Evo into Cyclonemon for 2. And Evo into BlackWarGreymon for 4. Tap Tai to gain a memory and de-evo his Panjamon. Sadly, he's a little too big to pop him though. So he hatches Tanamon, Evos into Agoromon. Evos into Leopardmon. And evos into Leopard for 3, and then activates Leopards when Digivolving to play Sala for free. And then he has blocker, or both of his guys have blocker until the end of my turn from Leopard's other effect. Alright, so we hatch again. Evo into Sunariza for 0. Beginning of main, I did give BlackWarGreymon 1000 DP and blocker from Tai's effect. I Evo into Gaio for 5, tap Tai to gain a memory, de-Evo Leopard, and then blitz into him Draw from Dory, and then Cyclonemon deletes the Sala. Boom. In the beginning of his turn, I reboot. So Evo's into BlackWarGreymon, however you say that. And Pat chokes me to 1. So I swing with Gaio for 2 checks at 14k, draw from Dory. And then I play Maki, get my Scourge on pass turn, then reboot. He plays Ruli for 4, give me 2. Beginning of main, give him another 1000 DP and blockers. Swing, draw from Dory, 14k for 2 checks. Just beating at that security. Then I Evo into Greymon X for 3. It would choke him to 1, but sadly Ruli's a memory setter. So he goes to 3. And then I reboot here, or I should. I'll do it in just a moment. Evo's into Pangemon for 3. Activates his effect to play a Tamer for free. And I do have blocker, and I am 14k on his turn. So Evo's into Leopard for 4, or Leopard mode for 4, and then it suspends my Gaio. He gains 2 memory back from the Izzies, draws a card from his inheritable, and my Gaiomon is stunned for the turn. So I push out Greymon X, give him 1000 DP and blocker from Tai, Evo into Metal, and he actually should have trashed the Leopard mode stack, or the top card of the Leopard mode stack at the end of his turn. So that happened, and then I de-evoed his level 5 with the Metal Greymon effect. And I got to reduce it to basically 0 from the Maki and the Tai. And the Greymon X effect, obviously. So I Evo into BlackWar for 4, and I pop his Memory Setter and one of his Izzies. And then Gaiomon reboots. He hatches. BlackWar is the one that has the blocker here. And I just remind him at the beginning of his turn. He Evos into Angoramon. He Evos into Pangemon. Plays a Tamer, chokes me to 1. I hatch. Beginning of main, I give Gaio 1000 DP and blocker. I swing into his guy with BlackWar and then unsuspend. Then I draw from Dory and then swing again into security, draw from Dory. And then swing for game. I did that with BlackWar because, one, there's no reason not to. There's no punish for it. And that just ensures that I don't just lose to like some random option in security. So we're going to game 3. Let's go BlackWar. Alright, so Caleb chooses to go first for game 3. He hatches, Evos into Angoramon. And then plays Angoramon for 3. I hatch my Dory. Evo into Sonoriza. Evo into Delta for 3. And I play Tai here, but I actually should have played the Maki for 3 to pass turn. Because the Tai is not going to interact with my Deltamon when I push out on my next turn. So he promotes, plays Ruli for 3, and then draws a card from one Angoramon and draws a card from the Tanamon inheritable. Swings with Angora, it dies. Swings with Angora, it dies. Getting the impression his hand isn't super awesome. We both actually mulliganed our opening hands this game. He plays another Angoramon for 3. Now I promotes. Evo into Metal for 2. Gain a memory, it pops his Angoramon. Then Evo into Gaio. Swing for 13k for 3 checks, drawing from Dorymon. Let's go, and then reboot. Hatches Tanamon. Evo's into Angoramon. Yeah, he's so far behind in tempo that he's probably not going to come back in this game, unfortunately, unless I check some option. So he plays Ruli to pass turn. I hatch. And now my guy wants 14k for 3 checks. So he beats over the Dino-Rexmon, thankfully. And I check a Pulsemon. It taps something on my field and then goes to hand. My Gaiamon's already tapped, so it doesn't actually do anything. It just goes to his hand. Then I Evo into Delta and then reboot. Now I have blocker. He promotes. Evo's into Micmon. Evo's into Pangemon. And no Tamer, and I draw and then swing for game. Gaiomon too strong. GG's to Caleb, and I appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content. Want to come back for more. But until next time, see ya.